जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधार गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल विश्व श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप अनुग गौड़िया गुरु वर्ग की जय। नित्याल विश्व श्री भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल विश्व श्री भक्ति श्री भक्ति बल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल विश्व श्री भक्ति दयित माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल विश्व श्री भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल विश्व श्री भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोसाई महाराज की जय। All the associates of Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, and all the disciples and followers of those associates ki jai. Jai Shri Śrīla Baladev Vibhushan Prabhu ki jai. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Ṭhākura ki jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Ramananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Śrīla Krishna Das Kaviraj Gosai Pad ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shard Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभीष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Once again, just looking at the calendar. Oh. जय श्री जयदेव गोस्वामी की जय। तो दिया शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि की जय। Okay, we'll have to read about him. Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, I'm just opening up. What am I opening up? Mangala Charan. Sorry. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्री सिद्धांत सरस्वती विदितो गौड़ीय गौरवन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभात गगने योगोर संकीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिंगिलो दरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्ण प्रेम सुधाब्दिकाहन सुखं प्रदत् प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्री गौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजां राधारससुधानिधिं Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidanandana Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatanu Yamuna Tatanagara Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparang Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidum Smara Gaura Gadadara Kelikalang Bhava Gaura Gadadara Pakshachara Shrinu Gaura Gadadara Charukathang Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidum Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Kshiptascha Kama Ditaranga Madhye Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Indri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatharani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Deepika Didi, Champak Mataji, and Alberto de Rivero. I don't know what your name is.
Mal Krishna.
Say that again? Amal
Amal.
Krishna Prabhu. Yes.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry.
There's too many things in my brain. You mentioned to me before and I just forgot. So, Dandavat Pranams, Amal Krishna Prabhu. And also everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. So far I don't see any comments, and so I don't know who's there. But I'm guessing Raseshwari Mataji is there, and Indira Mataji. And also pranams to all the devotees in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Krishna Vallabha Didi, Ananda Pradayani Didi, Vrinda Didi, and Anuradha Mataji. Dandavat pranams to all of you. I already said Champak Mataji. Yeah, I did. I'm just remembering now, Sajan Maharaj, but then other people also told me that my sound isn't very good and that I should be using a microphone. When I got so, when I was so caught up in the songbook work and I just couldn't think about anything else, I got really lazy with everything else because otherwise I wouldn't be able to finish everything. And I stopped using my microphone. And I have a microphone, I just need to find it, and I just didn't get around to that. But tomorrow I'll do that. Tomorrow I'll use a proper microphone so that you don't need to turn up your volume and you can hear me more clearly. So yesterday we sort of I just sort of quickly went through the songs in this Upadesh category, these songs of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura that are instructions. Most of them are instructions to the mind. And just last night I asked Manjulali Didi if she would like to speak, and she chose Upadeshamrita, but she's only available to speak tomorrow. So I'm kind of having to change the order of everything. Originally, I was planning on going through Upadesh, Upalabdhi, Śreya-nirṇaya, and Bhajan Geet, and then Upadeshamrita, and then the two I was going to group Manashikshan, I was going to make it 2 days, and that was going to be the sequence, but now I'm going to move Upadeshamrita to tomorrow. And yeah, we'll have Manjulali Didi on to speak about that, which will be very nice. But yeah, today, so the new order, today we're going to start with Śreya-nirṇaya. These are songs that were compiled in Gitavali. I don't know where, I'm not sure if it was ever published before. Maybe, but I don't know where they were published. I was trying to search for all of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's songs that were published in Sajantoshani and trying to look in other books, and I didn't see them anywhere else. And as I mentioned before, Gitavali was published after Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's time. It wasn't, Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura never published a book, Gitavali, and he also never published a book, Gitamala. As far as that's according to my research. Maybe somebody will find something in the future, but yeah, pretty sure that those books were compiled after Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's time. And so I think a lot of those songs in Gitamala and Gitavali were never published. Not all the songs, like a lot of the songs were published. All the Nagar Kirtans, the Nam Kirtans, the Bhajan Giti, and all that, that was published in little booklets, Vaishnav Siddhanta Mala, which is divided into 6 parts. But the majority of the songs, as far as I know, were not published anywhere until after Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's time. But in Śreya-nirṇaya, there is... Anyways, let's just start going through Śreya-nirṇaya, and I guess I should go through this kind of quickly today because I just realized today's Jayadeva Goswami's disappearance day, and we have to read a little something about him. And Haribol Jai Shri Didi. Okay. Oh, and Haribol Rukmini Didi. And did I say Sarveshwari Mataji? I think I already... No, I didn't mention you. Dandava Pranam Sarveshwari Mataji. Haribol. Okay. So... what am I doing? Where is it? Let me just open it up. Śreya-nirṇaya. Oh, and so I forgot to mention this. I sent out on my website, vineofdevotion.com, I sent out I wrote a little something about this week of Upadesh Kirtans, and also I sent out in that post. So if you're subscribed to Vine of Devotion, you'll have it in your email. Otherwise, you can just go to vineofdevotion.com and you'll see the post right there. And I have the selection of songs for Upadesh. So you can choose up to 4 songs. I give a little summary of each song. And yeah, once you choose your 4 songs, I'll send them to your email. I didn't get around to sending... Usually I try to send it out. I'd like to send it out. I wish I could have sent it out last night, but it got too late. So right after we finish this program, I'm going to be sending everybody their collection of songs to focus on for this week. All right. So let's begin. Śreya-nirṇaya. And also I thought we could go through this beautiful poem called Reflections that Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura wrote in 1871. So, just let's get a quick overview of Śreya-nirṇaya. So these are all songs. I made a little title for each one. So the first song, Without Krishna Bhakti, all is void. And then the second song, this is the only famous song that I know from this group. Arkeno Maya Jale Poritetro Jivamina. From Maya's net to the ocean of Krishna Prem. And the third song, Piriti, the beautiful lady of transcendental affection. And the fourth song, Why waste your life in dry logic, forsaking bhakti? And then the last song of Śreya-nirṇaya, Why do you hate the way others worship God? So these will be the 5 songs that we go through today. But before we start, I thought this is also kind of... The meaning of Śreya-nirṇaya is, well, Shreya means the ultimate good, the summum bonum, or what do we say, the, yeah, ultimate good, our ultimate welfare, auspiciousness, the Shreya, yeah. And Nirṇaya means discerning. So all these songs are about discerning what is our, like, what is our ultimate, what is in our best interest, our ultimate benefit. And so I'm going to read this poem. And this poem, there's this English poem, which Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura titled Reflections, was written in 1871. It was introduced with the note, "Thoughts on popular topics or occasional notes by Babu Kedarnath Datta, Deputy Collector and Magistrate." I was trying to find the original printing of it. I found versions of it printed right after Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's time, so I found like very early editions of it, but I haven't been able to find like a PDF of the actual printing of it. Alas for those who spend their days in festive mirth and joy. The dazzling, deadly liquid forms their hearts forever employ. The shining bottles charm their eyes and draw their heart's embrace. The slaves of wine can never rise from what we call disgrace. Was man intended to be a brute in work and heart? Should man, the lord of all around, from common sense depart? Man's glory is in common sense, dictating us thy grace, that man is made to live and love the beauteous heaven's embrace. The flesh is not our own, alas, the mortal frame a chain. The soul, confined for former wrongs, should try to rise again. Why then this childish play in that which cannot be our own, which falls within 100 years, as if a rose ablown? Our life is but a rosy hue, to go ere long for naught. The soul alone would last forever, with good or evil fraught. How deep the thought of times to be, how grave the aspect looks, and wrapped in awe become, O I, when reading nature's books. Man's life to him a problem dark, a screen both left and right. No soul hath come to tell us what exists beyond our sight. But then a voice, how deep and soft, within ourselves is left. Man, man, thou art immortal soul, thee death can never melt. For thee thy sire on high has kept a store of bliss above. To end of time thou art, O his, who once but purest love. O love, thy power and spell benign now melts my soul to God. How can my earthly words describe that feeling soft and broad? Enjoyment, sorrow, what but lots to which the flesh is heir? The soul that sleeps alone concludes, in them it hath a share. And then, my friends, no more enjoy, nor weep for all below. The women, wine, and flesh of beasts no love on thee bestow, but thine to love thy brother man, and give thyself to God. And God doth know your wages fair. This fact is true and broad. Forget the past that sleeps, and never the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, and progress thee shall call. I actually had this verse written on this book here. I could like get an engraving, and I said, "Act in times that are with thee, and progress thee shall call." Sorry. I really like this verse. Forget the past that sleeps, and never the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, and progress thee shall call. But tell me not, in reasoning cold, the soul is made alone by earth's mechanic lifeless rules, and to destruction prone. My God, who gave us life and all, alone the soul can kill, or give it all the joys above, his promise to fulfill. So push thy onward, march, O soul, against an evil deed that stands with soldiers, hate and lust, a hero be indeed. Maintain thy post in spirit world as firmly as you can. Let never matter push thee down. O stand, heroic man! O Saragrahi Vaishnav soul, thou art an angel fair. Lead me on to Vrindavan, and spirit's power declare. There rests my soul from matter free upon my lover's arms. Eternal peace and spirit's love are all my chanting charms. I've never read an English poem so deep and beautiful before. It's just, yeah. It's just, so, but this I think really fits into the category of Śreya-nirṇaya also. It's very similar to the songs that we're going to sing also. The same kind of, oh God, it's just so amazing, huh? Anyways, let's move on. Alright, sorry. Okay. So the first song of Śreya-nirṇaya. Without Krishna Bhakti, all is void. Krishna Bhakti bina kabu, nahi phalo doy. How should I do this? Maybe I'll just read the translation and then we can... Yeah, I'll just read the translation first. So, without devotion to Krishna, Krishna Bhakti vina, no endeavor ever bears actual fruit. Kabu nahi phalo doy. There'll be no arising of fruits. So there'll be there won't be any fruit. No endeavor that you do will have any real, tangible fruit. It's all just temporary things that will disappear in no time. So it has no meaning. It's just, so Krishna Bhakti vina kabu nahi phalo doy. All dharma and adharma leading to virtue or vice. So all pious activities and all immoral activities are meaningless, being the mere designations of conditioned souls. Because that which is just temporary doesn't have any value. Anything that's just about to fade away, disappear, poof, that doesn't have any actual true substance or meaning, or, it's just going to evaporate in a second. And it's not actually real. Like things that just, if you have a dream, yeah, you did actually see all these things in your dream, but it's not real. It's going to vanish. It's not permanent. And so all dharma and adharma are meaningless, being the mere designations of conditioned souls. It's just tied to your material designation, your temporary identity. It doesn't actually have any connection with the soul, anything of, and this is actually just reminding me of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's Swa-niyam Dwadashakam. He has a verse in here. Let's see. Haribol Nandani Didi and Raseshwari Mataji. Haribol. Alright, so just wanted to look through. Where is it? Here. Swa-niyam Dwadashakam. So this is the last thing that Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ever wrote. His last, and then after that he just went completely internal and didn't, he just kind of, so Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says, I abandon all dharmas except those that support pure bhajan. This is verse 5 of the Svaniyam Dvadashikam. He says, I have no attachment to the varnas, brahmana, kshatriya, etc. Nor do I have any affinity whatsoever for the regulations of the ashrams, brahmachari, grihastha, etc. I have absolutely no interest in either pious duties, in dharma in this world, or impious acts, adharma. Yet, until now, this material body has been sustained by the duties, by the dharmas, associated with varna and ashram. For this reason, I now desire only those dharmas that support pure bhajan. This is a whole deep topic that I know Rukmini Didi has gone extremely deep into. She wrote a whole book on it, and so actually I would love to discuss it, discuss this with you sometime, because but we should probably move on to the other songs. But just one thing I wanted to look into. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he gives 3 different categories of devotees, and I've never been so clear on it. Because I've read opposite things, and so I thought maybe just really quickly we could go through. There are Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says that sadhaks are threefold. This is Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's commentary on verse 6 of Manashiksha. And we've translated it in 2 opposite ways. Like we swapped the order of Swanishta and Parinishita. And so so Rukmini Didi also, if I get any of this, like if this is wrong in any way, you can let us know. But yeah, Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says the Swanishta sadhaks. Yeah, so there's Swanishta bhakta sadhaks, Parinishita sadhaks, and Nirapeksha sadhaks. The Swanishta sadhaks try to please Bhagavan Hari by completely abstaining from the rules and regulations of Varnashram. Those who are Parinishita perform all their actions according to the rules and regulations for the worship of Bhagavan. Both of these types are householders, and the Nirapeksha sadhaks are renunciants. If all 3 are sincere, then it is very auspicious for them. If there is hypocrisy, everything will be corrupted. And then Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura goes through the hypocrisy of the Swanishta, Parinishita, and Nirapeksha sadhaks. So my understanding is this is what we're aspiring for. To also what is it? Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, na dharmam shruti ganam niruktam kilo kuru. And Krishna says, sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam praja. Right. So this is what we are aspiring for, but if someone isn't surrendered, if someone hasn't come to that level of surrender, and they haven't reached a certain stage, then they have to perform the dharma in this world, and refrain from adharma and perform dharma. But eventually, really, we want to give up all dharma and adharma, but we can't do it we can't do it prematurely. Also, I don't know. This is a whole topic, and I actually we should move on. But I would really love to try to go deep into this topic sometime, and also discuss it with Rukmini Didi and understand it better. But yeah, all dharma and adharma leading to virtue and vice are meaningless, being the mere designations of conditioned souls. But in the meantime, we've still performed the dharma and we still perform dharma that is favorable to bhajan, but we don't perform dharma that's not favorable to bhajan. So then yoga, sacrifice, austerity, meditation, renunciation, impersonal knowledge, and other such disciplines are various ideologies and paths that are causes of bondage for the soul. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura gets into this point in a lot of other songs, especially in the Upalabdhi Kirtans. And also actually in this Svaniyam Dvadashakam. Let's see, there's another verse here. Here, he says, rejecting deceptive paths, I pray for service to Shri Radha Krishna. Renunciation, vairagya, that does not arise from bhakti is not acceptable to me. Nor is knowledge, gyan, that does not recognize distinctive traits of consciousness, such as personhood, pastimes, etc. For such knowledge is mere deception. I have no desire to perform Ashtanga Yoga, in which there is no bliss arising from rendering service to Sri Hari. May I thus attain profuse service to Shri Radha Krishna as both my means and goal. But what I said was kind of not totally clear, because this instruction is for every jiva at every platform. The point Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is making is that without devotion to Krishna, no endeavor bears actual fruit. So everything we do should be, nothing has meaning if it's not based on devotion to Krishna. Everything is meant to serve Krishna. And so that's the point. But yeah, all these different practices, yoga, sacrifice, austerity, other such disciplines, they're just various ideologies and paths that are causes of bondage for the soul. So, vinodera vakya dharo, nana kanda tyag koro. Heed the words of Bhaktivinoda. Relinquish these divergent ideologies and make a place in your heart for unconditional Krishna Prem. Nirupadi Krishna Prem, hridaye deho ashraya. And the way to sing these songs, the melody, is I've actually never sung this before, but let's see. Krishna bhakti vina kabhu nahi phaladoi miche sab dharma dharma jiver upadi moy yoga yaga tapo dhyan sanyasadi brahma gyan nana kanda rupe jiver bandhana karana hoy vinodera bhakya dharo nana kanda tyaga koro nirupari Krishna prema hridaye deho ashray. Every song in Śreya-nirṇaya is in this same meter. The next song is a beautiful song. From Maya's net to the ocean of Krishna Prem. How come my clock is not showing up? 1 second. Just need to keep track of time, so we don't go over time. There. Okay. So, Arkena. This is a very common song. Arkeno Maya Jale Pori Tetra Jivami. Why are you plunging into the net of Maya, O fish like Jiva? Like a fish, you're just plunging into the net of Maya. You do not realize that you will remain trapped perpetually, imprisoned in the net of Maya due to your desire for utterly insignificant pleasures. You remain in a vitiated condition, punished like one who is helplessly subservient to others. Now, on the strength of bhakti, sport freely in the waters of the ocean of Krishna Prem, remaining subservient to Krishna. Right? At the end of this verse it says, Paradhin, you're subservient to others, but remain Krishnadhin, subservient to Krishna. Paradhin, Krishnadhin. You don't need to be subservient to others. They're not your masters. Krishna is your only master. Why are you helplessly subservient, remaining helpless, being punished unnecessarily, being helplessly subservient to others. I remember Sundar Gopal gave an example of this vikrita bhav, this vitiated, this distorted condition. It's not our natural position. He mentions, like, an example is of an animal that's encaged in birth, since birth. Like, you can see there's studies done, like you can find things on YouTube about it, but about animals who are encaged from birth and they have no experience of anything outside their little cage. They don't know anything. Like, they have no experience of anything. Just like they don't know what light is. They don't know what anything is. They've just been encaged from birth. And so, like a swan that's been encaged by birth, the swan, she'll get a vitiated condition, a vikrita bhav, and she'll start like plucking out her feathers and acting really strange. But the swan is not meant to be stuck in a cage. The swan is meant to be swimming on a lake. Like the swan that's the nature of a swan, is to be in a beautiful lake with lotuses and swimming around. But because she's never experienced, she has no experience of anything outside of the cage, she's now showing this vitiated condition, this vikrita bhav, plucking out her things and just acting all strange. But then if you take the swan out and you put her into the lake, then her nature will now like become like she'll immediately start swimming in the water, and her real nature will come out. But that's our position here in this world. We're not this, like, we're not meant to be here. We're not meant to be, and so then we all get these distorted natures, that we're meant to be servants of Krishna, but and that's the nature of our soul. But because we've never got to experience that serving Krishna, we're all trying to serve ourselves, which is completely against our nature, and therefore we're all showing this, this like really distorted nature. So Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says, and we're serving others. We're like helplessly subservient to others, and we're just like a fish. We're just going straight into the net, and in this net we're trapped in eternally. So Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is saying, imprisoned in the net of Maya due to your desire for utterly insignificant pleasures, you remain in a vitiated condition, punished like one who is helplessly subservient to others. Now, on the strength of bhakti, sport freely in the waters of the ocean of Krishna Prem, remaining subservient to Krishna. Remain subservient to Krishna. Then we'll be happy. Then we'll be manifesting our true nature. We'll finally find peace and like satisfaction, and we'll be serving Krishna. We're not meant to be serving others and serving ourselves. It's completely against our nature. Therefore, we're doing this all for such insignificant pleasures. Yes, so we can sing this song as well. Ayar ke no maya jale poritecho jiva mina nahi jano baddha hoye robe tumi chiradina atito chabhoga yashe bandi hoye maya pashe rohile vikrita bhave dandya jatha paradina ekhono bakati bole Krishna prema sindhu jale Krida koriya nayase thako tumi Krishna din আর কেন মায়া জালে পড়িতেছ জীবমিন. Such a beautiful song, huh? All right, so now the next song. How are we doing on time? We have 15 minutes left. Okay. Piriti, the beautiful lady of transcendental affection. So, Piriti, transcendental affection, is a beautiful woman manifest in eternity, cognizance, and bliss. Compassion, piety, and all other virtues are her ornaments. And so Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he's making the point in this kirtan that all compassion, all piety, all of the virtues, we'll read it later on. These are all have no value if it's not ornamenting love. Let's see. Knowledge of Krishna is piriti, is transcendental affections, silken sari. And yoga, or bhakti yoga, is her exquisite fragrance. Thus adorned, this chaste lady steals Shri Krishna's heart. This piriti, this love, this transcendental affection, steals Krishna's heart. What beauty do ornaments have in this world if they don't have a lovely form to adorn? Likewise, virtues devoid of piriti cannot bring pleasure to Krishna. And then this last verse is funny. Just as ornaments do not enhance the beauty of a female monkey, similarly, I give no honor to virtues devoid of love for Krishna. Can imagine a monkey wearing lipstick and long eyelashes and wearing all sorts of jewels and stuff like that. It's not like, oh my god, that monkey is just so beautiful. So any ornaments that adorn anything that's not love for Krishna doesn't enhance it at all. It's useless. What is that famous verse? Mandanam lokaranjanam, like ornaments on a dead body. Doesn't what's the use of ornaments on a dead body? All good qualities devoid of Krishna. Anyways, okay. So let's go through this song. By the way, this is my first time ever singing any of these songs except for the second one, Śreya-nirṇaya Jale. But I think they can all be sung the same way. I just found a recording. I just looked on YouTube for a recording of this being sung, and I saw another melody, but I don't know it well enough. So, but yeah, you could search up Śreya-nirṇaya Jale if you want to see how to sing the song. You can find other melodies for how to sing it. Right now, this is the only one I know. So. Piriti sachidanande rupavati nari daya dharma yadi guna alankar sabda hari jnana tara patta shati yoga gandha paripati esa vishobhita sati kore Krishna mana churi rupa vina alankare kiva shobha e sangsare piriti vihina gune Krishna na tushite pari Vana nira alankar Shobha nahi hoitar Krishna prema bina tatha Gune na adara kori. And who is the embodiment of love for Krishna? Who is Piriti really? It's Srimati Radharani herself. There's any kind of piriti that comes from her. And Satchid Ananda. This piriti is completely transcendental, has no connection with this world. It's composed of Satchid Ananda. It's a beautiful woman. Rupavati Nari, beautiful woman. And her alankar, her ornaments are these virtues of daya, of compassion, of dharma, and all virtues, they are the ornaments of this Piriti. This Piriti, with her silken sari of knowledge and her fragrance of bhakti yoga, this chaste lady of Piriti, she steals Sri Krishna's heart. Krishna man churi. What beauty do ornaments have in this world if they don't have a lovely form to adorn? Likewise, virtues devoid of Piriti cannot bring pleasure to Krishna. Just as ornaments do not enhance the beauty of a female monkey, similarly, I give no honor to virtues devoid of love for Krishna. Okay, so now the fourth song of Śreya-nirṇaya. Why, my brother? This is why waste your life in dry logic, forsaking bhakti. Why, my brother, crying out, formless, formless? Do you keep disturbing the sadhak's peace over and over again? You cling to whatever you think is good, and thus pass your days. But know this essential point. Without bhakti, mere hypothetical reasoning, or this logic, yields no real result. If relying merely on hypothetical reasoning, you never relish bhakti, then your human birth has gone to waste. You have failed to reflect wisely. If taking shelter of the beautiful form of Sri Krishna, or you could also take Rupa here as taking shelter of Rupa Goswami, so both meanings, but the beautiful form of Krishna, if you're taking shelter of the beautiful form of Krishna, I worship him, and thus become immersed in prem for Hari, then tell me, O brother, what will remain out of reach? Why are you just relying on your own logic, your own hypothetical reasoning, and therefore you're never able to relish bhakti? Because of this, just because you're relying on your own understanding of things, you're not taking shelter of our shastra, of the words of Sri Guru. You're just relying on your own reasoning. I'll figure everything out on my own. Then, and the ultimate conclusion you come to, if you're just trying to, you're relying on your own reasoning, is that you'll think that everything, that God is formless, and you'll come to impersonal. That's the knowledge on our own without Sri Guru and the Srimad Bhagavatam and like that. The conclusion of knowledge is impersonalism. You realize that everything in this world is temporary and doesn't have any eternality, and actually it's all it is real, but it's temporary, right? So, but yeah, anyways, you come to the impersonal conclusion that we need to shed all this materialism and all this this distorted nature of mind. But then there's no positive anything. We can only get positive transcendental knowledge from Sri Guru, from Shastra, from Srimad Bhagavatam. So why do you cling to your own understanding? This is the Aroha Panta, right? Relying on your own strength to be able to elevate your consciousness like that. But no, we should take shelter of the form. If I take shelter of the beautiful form of Krishna, or if I take shelter of Srila Rupa Goswami and I worship him, and thus become immersed in prem for Hari, then tell me, O brother, what will remain out of reach? Tahale alabhya bhai ki rohibe bolo ar. Okay, so now our last 6 minutes. Let's go through the last kirtan of Śreya-nirṇaya. Why do you hate the way others worship God? Keno ar koro dvesh. Why do you loathe how foreigners engage in worship? Videshi. Videshi means foreigner. Videshi jan bhajane. So yeah, why do you loathe how foreigners engage in worship? Worship has different forms in different countries for different people. Everybody in every country, they have their different form of worshiping in all their different countries, all the different types of people. There's Christianity, there's Islam, there's Judaism, there's all these different forms that people worship the Lord. Some worship freely and openly. Some on their hands and knees. Like Muslims, they do namaz, right? They sit on their hands and knees. Um, Others close their eyes and meditate, worshipping the infinite presence of God. So it's like impersonalism. Some worship via their yoga and asana, while others immerse themselves in sankirtan. Everyone is worshipping the one supreme treasure, Krishna. Therefore, maintain cordial dealings with all in a brotherly fashion. Strive always for pure devotion to Hari through life and death. It's pretty, very extremely broad. You can see how extremely broad-minded Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is. That we should just see everybody is worshipping to different degrees, of course. Not everybody's worshipping, but there isn't many different gods. It's not like the Christian God is different from the Islamic God. Like the what they worship in, whatever Islam and they everybody's worshipping, and even the impersonalists, they're also worshipping that same Krishna. They're just not worshipping his form, but they're worshipping his effulgence at least, right? And so anybody who is worshipping the supreme being, they're all worshipping the same person. They just don't have full understanding of who that supreme person is, but their attention is still going to the supreme person. So we shouldn't hate anybody the way people engage in worship. We shouldn't hate anybody who's following their religion. We should Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says, we should mean cordial dealings with all of them in a brotherly fashion. And we should just think, yes, they are also worshipping Krishna, just not the full aspect of Krishna. This song also comes in, in Prem Pradeep. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura wrote this book, Prem Pradeep. It's it's like a novel, like Jaiva Dharma almost. And I didn't actually read this yet. I read it a long time ago, but I want to see the context in how he gives the song. So let's just read this really quick. Everyone is captivated by Pandit Babaji's analysis, and Narendra Babu and Ananda Babu become doubtful about Raj Raman Mohan Rai. So I guess there was some kind of debate or something, or some kind of discussion between the life. I'm just looking at the conversation. The life of a devotee of Krishna is not separate from Brahma or absolute transcendence. In the practice of bhakti, material attachment and spiritual are not separate from one another. One second. Sorry. In this way, for those striving to achieve Krishna, all sense objects are mixed with spirituality. Krishna sadhaks are in all respects spiritual. They are Brahmamoy. And the entirety of their activities cultivates spiritual attachment. For them, an obsession with the senses is not an obstacle, but rather a means to attain the fruit of prem. I have thus briefly shown connection between Rag Marg and other practices. You are a greatly experienced Vaishnava, so I will not speak further. Please forgive me if I have said anything amiss. Then everyone is captivated by Pandit Babaji's analysis, and Naren Babu and Ananda Babu become doubtful about Raj Ram Mohan Rai. Everyone was astonished to hear Pandit Babaji's explanation. Different moods arose in everyone's minds. Although Yogi Babaji was expert in yoga, he was also properly qualified for Vaishnav Ras, the taste devotees experience in relationship with Bhagavan. Now free from doubts, he began to relish the dust of Pandit Babaji's lotus feet, and Pandit Babaji lovingly embraced him. What Malik Mahashai felt at that time, no one could understand. For some days, Naren Babu and Ananda Babu had been pondering the basic truths of deity worship. Yogi Babaji had given them the book Sri Chaitanya Gita to peruse. What's Chaitanya Gita? In his autobiography, Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura has included Chaitanya Gita in a list of books that he himself composed. Interesting. Huh. Fascinating. I've never heard of that before. After studying and thoroughly reflecting on the text, they understood for the most part the many imports of deity worship, but still had not developed faith in it. But after hearing Pandit Babaji's grave instructions, which were pregnant with love, they said to one another, "Alas, we have been bewitched by foreign knowledge. We know nothing of the invaluable jewels to be found in our own country." Naren Babu said, "Ananda Babu, what made Ram Mohan Rai disregard the truths of the deity? It seems he was quite mistaken on this subject. Raja Ram Mohan was wrong? I'm scared to even speak this. His discourses convinced us that even Vyas, Narad, and other great sages were incorrect. How can I all of a sudden say he was wrong?" And then Ananda Babu, he was like their guru before. But what is there to fear? Ananda Babu asked. We can give up even Ram Mohan Rai for the sake of the truth. And then Yogi Babaji, he performs a kirtan appropriate for the situation as he returns to his kunj with his 3 companions. It was late at night. Yogi Babaji began making his way back to his ashram with his 3 companions. The 4 sang all the way to the kunj, and then they sang this song that we just went through. Let's sing it, because we didn't sing it yet. Keno yar koro desha Videshi jana bhajane Bhajaner linga nana Nana deshe nana jane Keho mukta kache bhaje Keho hatu gadi puje Keho banayana mudi Thake brahma aradhane Keho yoga sane puje Keho sankirtana maje Sakale bhajiche she Ekmatra Krishna dhane Atayeva bhratri bhave Thako sabe susar bhave Hari bhakti sadho sada E jivane vamarane Keno yar koro desha Videshi jana bhajane. Ananda Babu and Naren Babu were reluctant to sing the words Krishna Dhane, or Krishna, the Supreme Wealth, and instead they sang the word Bhagavani, the Supreme Lord. Yogi Babaji immediately noticed this, but did not say anything that night. So they weren't fully... And then after devotionally honoring a small amount of prasad, they went to sleep. It's the end of the 4th race. So they were slowly becoming changed, but they hadn't fully accepted Krishna yet. But yeah. All right, so it is 8 o'clock. That's our time is up, and we'll end here for today. And then tomorrow we have a special guest, Manjulali Didi. She will speak about the Upadeshamrita Kirtans by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. All the Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura wrote songs on the first 8 verses of Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita. Beautiful songs, really. They're all prayers to Hari for having the strength to be able to follow these verses of Rupa Goswami, being able to imbibe them and also understand the deep imports of these songs, these verses of Upadeshamrita. So very wonderful songs, and they're sung all the time in the mats. My favorite are the last 2. No. Anyways, we'll hear from her tomorrow. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Oh, and I just realized I haven't. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't read about Jayadev Goswami. I didn't even notice until after I did like when I did Jaidvani. Um, so I'm going to do a very short Jaidvani right now, and then if anybody wants to stay longer, I'll read a little short thing about Jayadev Goswami. But I want to be good with time, so I'm going to officially end now, and then yeah. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Jai Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai, all of his transcendental kirtans and writings ki jai. Jai Srila Jayadev Goswami Pad ki jai. To dear Shubha Tirubhav. Avirbhav or Tirubhav? Forgot. One second. Just looking. To dear Shubha Tirubhav Titi ki jai. Jai Jayadev Goswami's wife Padmavati Devi ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams Niri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Amal Krishna Prabhu, Deepika Didi, Rukmini Didi, Champak Mataji, and everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. Who is there? One second. I see Jai Shri Didi, Nandini Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Hemalata Thakurani Didi, and there are 9 devotees. Maybe I think Sripad Bhaktivedanta Sajan Maharaj, if he's not watching now, he'll be watching in the future. And I know Indira Mataji is probably there, and so many other devotees. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. Also, all the devotees watching in the future: Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Krishna Vallabha Didi, Ananda Pradayini Didi, Vrinda Mataji, Anuradha Mataji, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining. Just another reminder, if you haven't done so already, if you'd like, you can go to my website, vineofdevotion.com, and see my last post there, and then there you'll find a link for selecting your 4 songs, 4 instruction songs by Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, the very short summary of each song. And if you select those songs, I will send them to you. I'm going to, right after I end this program, I'm going to work on sending everybody their songs. So, all right. Okay, so for those of you who want to stay longer for the after party, I'm going to read a little something about Jayadev Goswami, but no pressure to stay now. All right, so, I mean, you're always free to go at any time you want. There's never any pressure to stay, but yeah, okay. So, since we're focusing on Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's writing, let's read from Navadip Dham Mahatma. Let me just find GVP books. Navadip Dham Mahatma. Where is that? Navadip Dham Mahatma. I think it is. Champakata is. I looked at it. It's chapter 11. It's loading. One second. All right, now here it is. We'll just read this section from Navadip Dham Mahatma, chapter 11. Right? I think Champakata. Here it is. It's the end of chapter 11, verse 84. Champakata, the place of Sri Dvija Vaninath. Okay, so Nityananda Prabhu, he's taking Srila Jiva Goswami on parikrama to all the islands of Navadip. And I'm not going to read the Bengali, we'll just read the translations. I'll read the first verse. Tabe Nityananda Aila Champahata Gram Vaninata Grihe Tata Korilo Vishram. Okay, so now we'll just read the translations. From Samudragad, Sri Nityananda Prabhu proceeded to Champakhatta and took rest in Dvija Vaninath's house. Dvija Vaninath is Gadadhar Pandit's brother. In the afternoon, while touring Champakhatta, Sri Nityananda Prabhu said, "Listen, O son of Vallabh, O Sri Jiva. Previously, there was a grove of champak flowers here. This place is part of Kadirvan of Raj and appears most beautiful. Champakalata Saki daily used to pick champak flowers here and string them into garlands. She used the garlands in the service of Shishi Radha Krishna. As the age of Kali progressed, gardeners came to this champak forest and collected flowers to their full satisfaction. They set up a market, a hatta here, and began to sell champak flowers, and the people living in nearby villages began buying flowers from them. Since then, this place has been known as Champak Hatta. The common name of this charming place is Champahati. When Sri Lakshman Sen was the king of Nadia, Sri Jayadev, the crest jewel of poets, resided in Navadvip as his subject. Sri Jayadev, whose mind was fixed and peaceful, built a cottage on the banks of Balal Dirghika and lived there with his wife Padma. While living there, he composed the hymn named Dasha Avatar. At some point, that hymn came into the hands of King Lakshman Sen. The king recited the hymn with great pleasure, and after the recitation, he inquired from his ministers about who had written this hymn. Govardhanacharya, who was present in the assembly, replied, "The great poet Jayadev is the author." The king asked where the poet Jayadev lived. Govardhan replied that he lived right here in Navadvip. Hearing this, the king secretly found out where Sri Jayadev lived. At night, the king disguised himself as a Vaishnav and came to Sri Jayadev's cottage. He paid his respects and sat down to one side. Jayadev understood that the king had come dressed as a poor Vaishnav. After a short time, the king revealed his identity. He begged Jayadev to come to his palace. But the highly intelligent Jayadev was completely without material attachments, and therefore did not agree to go to the house of a materialist. Sri Jayadev, a one-pointed devotee of Sri Krishna, said, "If you persist like this, I will leave your kingdom and go elsewhere. Association with materialists never brings any auspiciousness. I will cross the Ganga and go to Nilachal." The king said, "O Prabhu, please hear my words. Please be merciful and do not leave Sri Navadvip. O Lord, please have mercy upon me. Kindly make some arrangement by which your words come true and my desire be fulfilled." Across the Ganga, there is an enchanting place called Champak Hatta. Please stay there, at least for 1 or 2 years. I will not come there of my own accord. Only if you wish me to come will I go there and take darshan of your feet, of your lotus feet. After hearing the words of the king, the great poet Jayadev agreed and immediately said, "Although you are a materialist, a king, and this kingdom is yours, you are a devotee of Krishna, and you are not bound by the shackles of the material world. I called you a materialist only to test you, and you tolerated my words, even though you are a king. I have therefore understood that you are a pure devotee of Krishna. Although you are surrounded by worldly enjoyment, you are fully detached. I will live in Champakhatta for some time. You can come secretly to see me, leaving behind your royal opulence." The joyful king ordered his ministers to have a suitable house constructed for Sri Jayadev in Champakhatta. The poet Sri Jayadev stayed in that place for some time and performed Krishna bhajan according to the process of spontaneous devotion to Sri Krishna, according to Rag Marg. Shri Padmavati Devi would pick and bring many champak flowers, which Shri Jayadev would use to worship Shri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Shri Jayadev's worship was full of prem. One day he noticed that Shri Krishna's complexion resembled that of a champak flower. His beautiful complexion of molten gold was very charming, and his extremely beautiful lotus face even put to shame the beauty of millions upon millions of moons. His hair was curly, and a flower garland decorated his neck. His arms were long, and the splendor of his form illuminated Shri Jayadev's leaf-thatched hut. Seeing the form of Shri Gauranga, that best of great poets swooned, overwhelmed with prem, and tears began to flow from his eyes. Shri Padmavati Devi also lost consciousness on beholding that form of the Lord, and she also fell to the ground. Sriman Mahaprabhu lifted both of them up with his lotus hands, and mercifully spoke the following sweet words. You are both my devotees, and of noble nature. Therefore, I desire to give you my darshan. Very soon, I will take birth here in Nadia from the womb of Mother Shachi. Along with the devotees from all of my incarnations, I will distribute the treasure of prem through the medium of Shri Krishna Sankirtan. At the age of 24, I will accept the renounced order of life, and then, without doubt, I will reside in Nilachal, in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, during the final stage of my manifest pastimes, I will, absorbed in prem, relish Shri Gita Govinda in the company of the devotees, which Jayadev was just in the middle of writing. O Jayadev, I am briefly revealing my heart to you when I say that I deeply cherish your composition, Shri Gita Govinda. This Shri Navadvip Dham is supremely transcendental. After giving up these present bodies, you will definitely take birth here. Now both of you should go to Nilachal and serve Lord Shri Jagannath. By this, you will certainly attain the fruit of prem. Saying this, Shri Gaurachandra disappeared, and both of them fainted in separation from him. Sorry, and I shouldn't have said that he was in the middle of writing this. I got mixed up with stories, but yeah, it's possible that he had finished it by this point. So yeah, Gaurachandra disappeared and both of them fainted in separation from him. When they came back to consciousness, they lamented, afflicted by separation from Sriman Mahaprabhu. They said, Alas, alas, how can we remain alive without again beholding that form we once saw with our eyes? Why did Sriman Mahaprabhu order us to leave Nadia? It seems like we have committed an offense to this Dham. Shri Navadvip Dham is supremely transcendental. If our minds become so disturbed just at the thought of leaving this place, what will become of us when we actually leave? We would rather leave our bodies than leave this Dham. It would be better to become a bird or an animal in Shri Navadvip and reside here eternally, absorbed in thoughts of the Dham. We can give up our lives, but we cannot give up the Dham. This is our firm conviction. O Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, please be merciful to us and give us a place here at your lotus feet. Lamenting in this way, they both began to cry loudly. Just then they heard an aerial voice. Do not be unhappy. Go to Nilachal. By going there, you will achieve two things, so do not become restless. Some time ago, both of you were thinking of residing in Nilachal for some time. Shri Jagannath, the best friend of the inhabitants of the world, has fulfilled your desire, and he also wants to see you. After pleasing Shri Jagannath, you will both give up your bodies, and in your next birth, you will again come to reside here in Navadvip. After hearing the aerial voice, they at once departed on their journey for Shri Jagannath Puri, looking back again and again to behold Shri Navadvip. Their eyes overflowed with tears, and upon seeing the residence of Shri Navadvip, they humbly said, all of you, please be merciful to us and forgive the offenses we have committed. They traveled very far, constantly looking back at the Sri Navadvip Dham, which is like an 8-petaled lotus flower. They continued on until they could see Sri Navadvip no more, weeping as they crossed the land of Goda. After some days, they arrived in Nilachal, where, with hearts full of joy, they had darshan of Bhagavan Sri Jagannath. Sri Nityananda Prabhu said, "O Jiva, according to the elders of this place, this highland is indeed Sri Jayadev's place." Upon seeing the place of Sri Jayadev, Jiva, out of prem, rolled in the dust and wept. Sri Jiva said, "Blessed is Sri Jayadev Kavi, blessed is Sri Padmavati Devi, blessed is Sri Git Govinda, and blessed is divine attachment to Sri Krishna." Let's sing that verse. Dhanya Jaya Deva Kavi, Dhanya Padmavati, Shri Gita Govinda Dhanya, Dhanya Krishna Rati. O Lord, Sri Jayadev attains the ocean of divine love. Please be merciful to me and let me taste just one drop of that ocean. Let's sing that as well. Jayadeva Bhoga Koilo, Jai Prema Sindhu, Kripa Kori Deho More, Tara Eka Bindu. Saying this, Sri Jiva began to roll in the dust at Sri Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet. That night, they all stayed at Sri Vaninath's house. Together with all of his family members, Sri Vaninath served Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Desiring to attain the cooling shade of Sri Nityananda Prabhu's and Sri Janavadevi's lotus feet, this destitute and lowly Bhaktivinod sings the glories of Nadia. Thus ends chapter 11 of Navadvip Dham Mahatma. Jai. Wow. So beautiful. All right, so if any of you wants to read more about Jayadev Goswami, there's the famous pastimes of Krishna coming in the form of Jayadev to complete writing what he couldn't finish, the Smara Garala Kandanam Mama Shirasi Mandanam Dehi Padapalavam Udaram. You can read all of that on anywhere, I'm sure. You probably find that on purebhakti.com and also on vcvani.com, and I'm sure or any YouTube video, anybody speaking about that. But I just wanted to read more of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. So, all right, that's the end of our program. See you all tomorrow to hear from Manjulali Didi about the songs of Upadeshamrita by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. All right, Dandavat Pranams, Haribol. Thank you so much for staying so much longer. All right, and just checking one last time the comments. All right, Raseshwari Mataji said, "Yes, I'm staying. I love glories." Yes, that's always the most nourishing thing, is the glories of Mahaprabhu's, or the Lord's associates, and all the devotees, and our acharyas, and like that. That's always the most nourishing and helpful for us. So, all right, Haribol. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream? All right, see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Tomorrow's will be extra special, so please try to make it if you can, and also send in your form if you want to have your own set of kirtans to focus on. But yeah, all right, Haribol.